Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kevin with Hungry Hog Barbecue. I just got an amazing sale today on some beef ribs for $1.99. If you have an opportunity to get some beef ribs at that price, has cut off the prime beef, you need to go for it. So we've got roughly 9.5, 10 pounds of beef ribs, and I'm going to show you this easy process on how to prepare these babies so you can have a rock and roll beef rib dinner with your family. Stay tuned. Here's the process. So as you can see here, the butcher did us right. He didn't gouge into the bone, because generally with your beef ribs, you're going to get a lot of your prime beef between the bones here. So you can see here he went a little deep, and so you know you got some little shards of these bones here, but that's fine because generally they're cutting off their prime rib off of this rib back right here, this beef back. So as you can see here, you don't want to pull this membrane off. Now, if you've seen my videos in the past when I do my pork ribs, I'll pull off that membrane. But on a beef rib, you want that membrane to stay on, because we're going to cook this, and I'll reiterate this, at 250. So we're going to slow cook this, and this membrane is going to act as an adhesive to hold all of this meat together, because you see this is some prime eating right here. And you see the beautiful marbling throughout this, and that's just going to be some delicious eating right here. So it's only a two-step process. I've got a little olive oil here that I'm gonna coat on these ribs. I'm gonna put it on the front and back, and then I've got just my handy dandy, just kosher salt and coarse black pepper with a touch of paprika. So hold tight and watch us get rock and roll and getting these seasoned up. Very easy process. The hardest part is just letting it do its thing at 250. So I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to coat the backside as well. Generally, I coat the backside first, so we're just going to put a little drizzle on the backside as well. And don't worry about all this membrane fat here. Trust me, doing that slow process, it's going to work its way off of this baby. We're going to give it a good coat. As you can see, that paprika, it's really going to give it a nice color that we're looking for in here. Do a knock off the excess off that. Now we're going to work on the top side of these beautiful ribs here. Like I said, we're keeping it simple here. Don't be bashful with your seasoning. Remember, we're slow cooking this beef here. You're gonna treat it just like you would your top Angus beef. So you want to go ahead and work that in there and make sure you got it evenly all over your beef. And you can see, that's it. That's the process. That's the process. We're gonna cook these beef ribs on my green egg today. As you can see, we've got that clear smoke coming out. It's right where you want it. And we're dead set right at about 250. A few degrees over. When I open, it's gonna level back off like she always does. So let's get these ribs on this smoker to get to going. Okay. We've got them on. We're gonna hold temp right at 250. And we're gonna let her do its thing. Okay, as you can see, we're still holding at 250. We're at about 2.5 hours into the cook. Let's see how these beef ribs are doing. Oh yeah, they're looking good. As you can see, they're starting to pull back. That color is nice and mahogany that we wanted. And so what I'm gonna do now is gonna apply a little brisket marinade. And I generally like making my own marinade, but today I'm gonna check out John Henry's Texas brisket marinade. Since we're staying in the pork profile, we're gonna stick with that. So we're gonna just go ahead and coat these a little bit with this marinade, and we'll take it from there. Okay, we've now got them coated with that John Henry's Texas brisket marinade. Boy, I wish you guys smelled it. It smells delicious. Okay, let's let them keep going. Probably about another half hour, 45 minutes, and we'll wrap them, and I'll show you that process. We're following the process. Okay, we're back. It's been a total of 3 hours. We've had these ribs slow cooking at a 250. So let's check them out. Man, look at that. That is beautiful. We see how they're pulling back from the bones, and we see how they're starting to tighten up a little bit. So let's check this temp on these right now. We're at about 180, 181, 82. So we're at a perfect temp right now to go ahead and get these babies wrapped. And let me tell you something. If you're dealing with a cook of barbecue, and he or she does not have a thermopan or some type of device to check the internal temp of their product, they're going to have some inconsistent cooks, overcooked, undercooked. If you call yourself a professional, you need to have a temperature gauge that's going to give you an internal temp, so every single time you're dead on your mark. So let's go ahead and get these babies wrapped. Let's start the next process. Now we've got the beef ribs ready to wrap. So I've got my foil, I've got my ribs, and this right here, folks, is the gold standard of your steak butter. Now, to get the recipe to this gold standard butter, the only thing you need to do is like and subscribe to this channel, and I will give you this recipe. Ruth Chris herself cannot touch this gold standard of this butter I'm going to put on these beef ribs. This is what we call the true steak butter. So the only thing we're going to apply now, we're going to apply these ribs face down with our John Henry's Texas brisket marinade, with a few slices or cubes of this steak butter. Trust the process. Gold standard of butter, baby. You're gonna put these ribs top down right on top of this butter. We're gonna apply a little bit more of this Texas brisket marinade. Not much, just enough to wet it just a little bit. That's it. I'll do this to this other slab over here, and we're gonna put them back on the smoker for maybe another hour to get our internal temp up to 200 degrees, and then we're gonna take them off and do what you always do with the best beef. Let her rest. Okay. We have reached our internal temp of 195, which in turn it carried over till about 200 degrees. So we're at a perfect temp. So let's see. Let's take a look at these beef ribs. Man, they smell absolutely amazing. So this is your finished product right here. Your beef ribs. So let's give one of them a cut. Man, that is very tender. If you can see that cut on that. Now take a look at that. You can see the smoke ring and how juicy and how tender that is. Feast your eyes on that. Hope you've enjoyed the video and in tune to the process of cooking the perfect beef ribs. Hungry Hog Barbecue signing off. Enjoy. Ciao.